an electronics retailer in Tokyo. The latest laptop computers from a variety of manufacturers are on sale here. In 2021, 340 million laptops and other computers were shipped. They've become an everyday part of life. The model that played a part in kickstarting this giant industry is kept in this company's building.
こちらが弊社の世界初のラップトップパソコンの第1号機です。
The initial model was developed in 1985. It's around 30 centimeters in size and weighs 4.1 kilograms. The laptop was recognized by a prestigious engineering association based in America.
This is from the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, the IEEE. They declared our laptop a pioneering contribution to the development of portable PCs. We share this honor with all the employees of the company.
Our story begins in the 1980s. It was a time when desktop computers made by an American company were becoming common in offices around the world. Manufacturers all over were looking to develop their own products and put them out to market. This major Japanese tech company was part of the competition. But they had entered the market late, and competition was fierce. There was talk of shutting down the computer department. Could nothing be done? The company desperately looked for ideas and came across an interesting concept. An American computer scientist had proposed his vision for a personal computer. He believed a computer had to adapt to people and support their lifestyles. This is Kashiwagi Kazuhiko, who oversees the company's computer business. Here's what he heard about the time.
Alan Kay, the American scientist, had a vision for a small computer that he called a Dynabook. Rather than humans obeying the constraints of computers, he wanted them to fit into our lifestyles, to be simple enough for a child to use. He envisioned the modern personal computer decades before it actually existed.
Computers at the time were in set locations. You did specific tasks on them and returned to your desk after you were done. The developers wanted to turn the desktop computer into something compact and light. If it was portable, you could do the work whenever and wherever you wanted. That kind of flexibility would make it a true personal computer. With the concept in place and the survival of their department on the line, the development team got to work, transforming the desktop computer. How to make a small computer. The team started with the main body. They decided on a size that was suitable for carrying. The internals would come after.
For this project, The team determined the external design first.
そういった妥協っていうのがどんどん出てきてしまう。きちんと
If we had started with the insides instead, it would be too tempting to settle on something larger.
本当に持ち運べるような
After deciding the size, there would be no compromises.
ものを最
We wanted it to be truly portable and convenient to use.
で
So we picked the size and designed the insides after.
したと。
But there was another problem. How could they make it portable and include something so large? The team evaluated their options. Their final idea took a cue from these. Seashells. They would use the so-called clamshell design. The main unit would have a built-in rechargeable battery, keyboard, and a thin LCD display. The screen would close like a clamshell for transport. The entire unit was smaller and thinner than a desktop, but they would still need to fit around 1,000 components inside. The team started prototyping right away. They soon hit a snag. The motherboard. Their design required a smaller board, and it would need to have fewer components on it. The developers tirelessly searched for options. They came across a company that had successfully created smaller chips by packing in more transistors. After contacting the company, they were able to secure a supply of these components. With the new chips in hand, all the necessary components would fit on the board. The new design had the same capabilities as a desktop, but was less than half the size. At the time, software was not yet stored on the computer itself due to a lack of memory. Something external was used. Floppy disks. Programs such as word processors and accounting software were run off these disks. The new device would also need a floppy drive, but they had to save as much room as possible. The team looked towards these 3.5-inch floppies, the smallest on the market. But the software companies were all putting out their programs on the larger 5-inch disks. If they managed to build in a 3.5-inch drive, there still would be almost nothing available on the smaller floppies.
世の中で供給されて
At the time, almost all software was distributed on 5-inch discs.
5インチで供給され
Even if the team went through the effort to fit in a 3.5-inch drive, there would be nothing to run on it.
て製品化しても
If programs weren't available on 3.5-inch discs,
提供され
then the computer could end up just becoming a useless box.
になってしまう。
The team headed for America to meet with the top software developer at the time. The developers were confident that their new design would soon become commonplace, and asked whether the company could release their software on 3.5-inch discs.
当時非常にメジャーだった
The team visited a very major software company, but were basically turned away at the door. But they persisted and visited many times, explaining over and over again what laptop computers were capable of and how popular laptops were going to be in the future.
足を運んで
The team members spoke with several companies, and through persistence, they were able to establish a strong software lineup for launch. In January of 1985, the laptop was finally ready. The developers decided to show off their device at an international conference in Germany. They wanted to gauge the reaction in Europe before expanding to the American market.
The reason we chose Europe was because the U.S. is a single market, but there are many European countries. It's true you have to adjust marketing for each country, but the U.S. is all or nothing. So we thought we'd have a better chance in Europe, and then we could decide what to do after seeing how it was received there.
At the conference, the team did their best to show off their product. But there didn't seem to be much interest. As they kept trying, one man stopped for a look. He was a procurement officer for a major German company looking for new company computers. It was a perfect chance. Nervously, they handed him a unit. The man placed the device on his lap and flipped open the display. He was very impressed. But could it run the kind of programs his company needed off a floppy disk? It was the moment of truth for the developers. They handed him a disk to try. With bated breath, they waited. A moment later, the accounting software loaded. The man tried the keyboard. The device responded right away.
The software ran perfectly. I think that really made an impression. The device tapped into a hidden demand among people working in the office. They wanted to be able to move the computer and work somewhere else. It was convenient to be able to do that. No words of mine could express how happy the team was with the success. They would have had to keep a straight face, but I bet everyone was jumping for joy on the inside.
The value of the laptop computer had been recognized. 10,000 units were shipped in Europe after just 1 year, and the company began selling in America soon after.